you have any more suggestions or something you don't agree with there, and please come to the microphone and share it.
Yeah, Johan, I have to say I'm really happy you mentioned an open micro-diff solutions. So, speaking for Berlin, Germany, I think this is a very hard point to accomplish, or a goal to accomplish, because in Germany the logistics service providers are really, they fear collaboration, I guess, a little bit, and so I would like to see one solution in the future where you have an open, at least one site, one venue where you can start your logistics last mile solutions from, and having different types of service providers, and using one standardized box solution or vehicle solution. So I think this is a really good step forward.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be one. I mean, you could. What I'm thinking is it could be all sorts of solutions. Container could be one, and consolidation could be one. But just if the city had some stake and just put the service there and be open about what kind of services, what kind of deals, and let the logistics operators come to them and say, yeah, we would like to use this facility in this way. Okay, yeah, then we'll try to sort it out. But that the city actually helps out in doing the transfer from the big vehicles to smaller, and the other way around, from smaller to bigger when it's going out of the city.
Yes, like first mile,
yeah.
Like first collecting goods.
Yeah. So both alternatives when it's a good idea to change type of vehicle because it doesn't suit in the city center. Yeah, and we're going in the last subtopic, which is just one more. It's going to be just about turbos.
One more question.
Yeah.
The DHL has maximum sizes of parcels who will load it in these boxes. Of course, when you have a big parcel, all of the boxes fit.
Yeah, we have the way it's the owner here. Yeah, he's here. So owner from DHL is standing down there. What they have, what we have done with the containers is that it's divided in 4 sections, but it's not all the way. So the front third, then we have a loose shelf. So if you have a big flat pack, it can still go in the container. But otherwise, the dimensions of the container is a pallet and 1 meter high. So that's
You don't have two routes. So when you have a big parcel, you have you leave it in an autobus, and the small parcels are going to the bicycle.
The way you could do it like that, of course, you can go with any application you like. DHL is doing it like that, mixing the big ones with the small, but of course you could choose to put the big ones in one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I think the problem I'm trying to get my head around the idea of a central container terminal, because I think the problem you have there is essentially Cyclelogistics is a last mile service, and if we facilitate a sort of from trunk all the way to end user in a sealed box, we're never going to get the consolidation, which is what we really need to make it work.
Yeah.
Could we look, I mean, I don't know whether you've looked at it for your own vehicle. If your vehicle had 2 containers, one with DHL, one with TNT, one with FedEx, so they were insulated and there was no consignment contamination, then we've got a solution that we can offer to DHL and the other delivered by one guy who may be doing 2 DHLs, and then he'll do a TNT, and then he'll go back and do a DHL. That's where we gain efficiency, and that's where the containerization can actually help us.
Yeah, it's that's one of the drawbacks with the containers, that it isn't made for consolidation. You don't mix it, but you could do it the way you're describing it. It's not consolidation, but at least the goods go on the same vehicle. And how we are thinking about the container, we are open for it to go on any type of vehicle. So if they're going to be an electric vehicle who could take 6 containers, well, yeah, do that. And we ourselves can put 2 containers on our 6-wheeler if we like. So at least mix 2. So absolutely open to that. But yes, that's it's not made for consolidation, but sometimes in some cases maybe consolidation isn't wanted or needed. But I agree. That's what I was saying with these terminals. That yeah, they should handle containers. Yeah, they should handle containers, but they should do consolidation as well. They should have an open. Should be able to do both. So you shouldn't decide from the beginning this service center. It should work like this. Just be open for any type of suggestion that comes from the logistics operators. And here comes a professional in consolidation.
My name is Birgit Hendricks. We are running the Binnenstad service. We actually are open city hubs, receiving small volumes for people or business in the cities. And I'm dreaming about having, let's say, 10 of these containers in our terminal, not with the name of DHL or FedEx or whatever, but the name of the neighborhood. And we could bundle all the stuff for one neighborhood in one box. And then one of the bike couriers will come along and take the box. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Yeah, so that's really bundling and it's really efficient. It's not efficient to drive behind each other, not even with cargo bikes. Yeah. So that's really the dream.
Yeah, that's one other way of seeing it, that it enables consolidation in that way, if you think about it. Yeah, thank you, Angela. Yeah?
Question here. What were such vehicles required cargo type being classified on the road as? How do you cover insurance for that?
It follows it's the same, it's classified the same as a pedelec, as a bicycle.
Pedelec bicycle under EN regulations a maximum weight limit of 40 kilos. I don't think this is anything like that as 40 kilos.
It's different from country. Which country is that valid for?
EU regulation, EN standard is maximum weight 40 kilos.
On a
whole vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's probably over 100 kilos.
Yeah, I'm no expert. Yeah, it's well, it's the same as any other cargo bike. I can say that. But it's legal on the road. It is, yeah, it's legal on the road, as any other cargo bike would be. Yeah, any more? I think we are already into the last subtopic, but I'll bring it forward anyway. Yeah, and what about time? Where are we? We have 50 minutes left. Yeah.
Yes, we still have 15, almost 20 minutes.
Okay, but then we're good in time. Then we have already started this discussion with the terminals, and we had heard Gitte from Binnenstad. Is there any more suggestions on that? No, I said that we already talked now a little bit about the central terminals. Maybe is there some more opinion on that reaction to that suggestion that the city perhaps would be having their hand on, or maybe you can explain how you're organized, Binnenstad service.
Yeah, of course I can explain. Maybe I should turn around then a little bit. We are running open hubs in the Netherlands, which is called Binnenstad service. And we are only the hub, actually. So we don't own our fleet, we just hire the right courier for the right volumes. So that's what we do in the Netherlands. But what we have experienced, Johan was telling, local governments could help. And yes, they should. But in my experience, and we've been in the market for 8 years now, they don't really do their job as well as we would hope for. Because if they really want more cargo bikes in the city, and if they really want more electric vehicles, then they should change their policy. They should have a sustainable urban logistics plan to promote electric and bike driving instead of diesel and so on. So, and I think I just showed the guy from Berlin, so that's why I wasn't listening, I'm sorry. I showed him the website we created about city logistics in Europe, and I think we could collaborate all together. And I talked to Gary and try to integrate the bike couriers and the hubs. So we could really have more volume and more impact and more bundling in the cities. And that's what we do in the Netherlands. And we create a sort of national network of hubs next to all the cities. And we are there, but we do not have as much impact as we want to have. So we need all the help we can from the local government and from the business side as well.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Compared to the suggestion I mentioned, that it would be open facility for any organization to use the service of, could for example, one of the big logistics companies come and say, can we use your facilities to temporarily store our goods, and so we can deliver it with small vehicles? Is that a service you can offer?
Yes, because we don't own our own fleet, so they can.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they do not ask as much as we want them to ask us. So they're not very much making use of this service.
And a second question, how are you connected to the municipality? Do you have any cooperation or?
I could say none, but that's, well, maybe that's not true. I don't know for all the cities, because we work in 14 cities in the Netherlands, and all these companies are locally owned. So they're independent entrepreneurs, and we work together in the Netherlands. But let's say for this city here, I'm working in this city. Of course, I know the aldermen, and I know all the civil servants, and they're here today. But we are not subsidized or something. And I'm dreaming of them being our best customer, because they have a town hall, they have lots of public addresses, lots of flows of goods are going to there, but they're not making use of bundle delivery, even not to their own town hall. So I think the local government should be the right ambassador, and they are. But they are not making use of the hub themselves. And I think they should be the launching customer, but they aren't. So it's very complicated, even for the local government, to behave as they promote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
at least in my experience.
Yeah, that's, yeah. So we have a few hands up here.
I'm not an expert, but I see it's a political issue. We don't have a lobby, we don't have money in the scale of a big courier company or a government who gets lobbying. And I think we are knocking on the wrong doors in a way.
Well, you should ask Gary. He travels around to all the cities of Europe and doing advocating for cyclelogistics now.
How much? Is there one example? Today there was an example said the biggest fleet of bikes is 25 in the city of Hamburg and somewhere else. To be established, that's peanuts, I would say, to the potential of 1 million or 20 million bikes in the whole world. Sorry.
A thought just came to me listening to that, is maybe your local municipally to help you, because they are responsible for the road surface, is that right? The potholes? I know my city is a big problem, so they're having to spend a lot of money repairing the road that's damaged by these big vehicles. So maybe you can use that economic argument, because that's the way they seem to think in my place, money, is that's the reason to do this kind of thing. And the other thing I was going to think about, does much interaction between the railway and this take place? Anyone thought about the railway?
No, not yet. There is one company in Germany, Imagine Cargo, who is doing the mix of rail and cargo bikes, but they are right now not interested in using containers. Yeah, could be an option. I guess if I ask you this question and see if I get any answer, do you think it's a good idea that the city would arrange with a city logistics facility and offer services? And I haven't explained it, or if I explain it again, so the city would have a place with some floor space, some and maybe some basic services, maybe some storage. There are staff there, they have security, and then that they would invite logistics operators to please use these facilities, and we will help you set up whatever logistics procedure you would like, so we can get a better working city logistics. Is that a good idea that cities would arrange with that instead of everything being privately organized? Any comments on that? Or let's do it like this. Do you agree? Hands up. Not many. So, do you prefer everything be privately organized like that? Hands up. Yeah, it's about even, but many that didn't decide. Any comment? Yeah, comment.
Yes. Yeah, one comment. I think it's not the question of who does own the city space, the city logistics system. It's more the question how to bring down the cost. So if you imagine a big logistics company, let it be FedEx, let it be UPS, let it be Daxa or Schenker, they already have a set up distribution system for whole countries. They have their depot schemes 20, 30, 50 kilometers outside of the city, and then they go inside with a truck, with a van. And to set up another consolidation point for them is an extra cost. And to be successful, you need to bring down this cost of this consolidation schemes. It's an extra transshipment which costs extra money, and this has to go down, and that's an important success factor for them to use it. It's not about, yeah, we would like to do it, it's about, does it cost us more, yes or not? Or do we have to do it, yes or not? And in order to minimize costs, you have to minimize the effort for transshipment. So the container system you propose is very interesting, but you cannot use it for the consolidation point outside the city, because it's not fitted to the size of a truck. So it's not fitted to the size of a pallet from the outside. So they have to do an extra transshipment, an extra manual shipment at the city consolidation point, and then it would be too expensive, and it will not be used for this purpose.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say you're saying that it's expensive for a big logistics company to set up a central consolidation center terminal. So what if if the city would go in and take some of the cost for that and offer it to be used for many different logistics operators, which would also enable consolidation if you wanted it, then the cost would go down? Is that do you follow that?
From a logistics point of view, I'm not sure if the cost would go down, because it's an extra transshipment effort compared to what they are doing now. And this extra transshipment costs a huge amount of money. Transshipment is one of the most expensive parts of logistics, and therefore I don't think that you just reach a break-even point with having a public open space which fits to art, and so does not fit to the special needs of each company, and therefore makes it more expensive for each single company. Right? As long as you don't have public regulations which tells logistic companies you should use it or you have to use it, otherwise you will charge you some money, I think it will not be successful.
Okay, any more? Down there?
I think we have to look at this from another perspective as well. When we want to cover cost. Within the last 2 weeks and also today, someone was driven over by a truck again in Berlin. We had, I think, 2 or 3 deadly accidents, people driven over by trucks in the city. And this happened today, as I just read on Facebook. It happened again. So if we consider cost, we have to take this also into account, that this is the cost that society has by people having their small shipments at their home driven to them by a 3.5 or a bigger truck. And also when it comes to pallet transport or something, we heard you need bigger trucks probably. And these trucks kill people in cities, and this is happening every day, basically. So take this cost into consideration, what these costs are for society, and then think again about micro-consolidation hubs. And then it comes down that this is a much cheaper way for society to transport things to people. And this is only one of the aspects that we have to take into consideration. Also environmental aspects such as NOx and sulfur dioxide and things like that, which costs thousands of lives every year. And I mean, we all understand that this is the fact, but if we talk about cost, we also have to consider health cost, and so that brings it to a totally different level.
Another side of this is the delivery point of the logistics. So when a van is delivering a packet, I'm from Milan, and I used to park in double row. So it's different from a truck, a van parked in double row, or a cargo bike. This is more dangerous, it occupies a lot of stress, and it generates traffic. So also this aspect. If you are not allowed to park in double row with the van, you are not allowed at the end to deliver stuff. You need to find another way, just strictly.
Okay, Case? Is that how you pronounce it, by the way?
Yes, Case, that's all right. I was thinking about the consumer because I think there is a potential that at the consumer side there's interest in having goods delivered by a cargo bike instead of by a motorized. And I think that maybe a small amount, but still an amount of consumers would, if they can choose between the way of delivery, they choose the cargo bike. Maybe even if they have to pay a little bit more. And if they have to pay the same, I guess a lot of them will choose it. So I would say look at the opportunities of convincing consumers when they order something through internet that they are able to select the cargo bike as a preferable option. And I think that maybe, well, if you look at this side, there would be interest.
Yeah, no.
What's your experience?
In Sweden, the environmental labeling organization put the labels on products are really interested in setting up a system that would give that opportunity when you order something online, delivery option, to have it with a, what is it? It's not called an environmental label, what is it called? Yeah, but in general, eco-label, some eco-label, standardized eco-label as a choice. But it's complex. It's very complex how you would for them to agree with all the operators what will be eco-label transport and not with the whole supply chain with different actors and so on. It's hard in practice to get it there, even if there is interest from the public to do it. I think it's very complex to set up.
Okay. Well, it could be complex, but I also think it could be manageable because if there's interest from the consumer, there's a reason for logistics service providers to act. And I think you should have a combination of this with the micro DCs and the micro DCs can be taken on in a national distribution network, so that, well, you have an extra transshipment, but you have to organize this transshipment together with the municipality in order to keep the cost low. And I think it's difficult to get municipalities behind you, but on the other hand, municipalities, especially in the Netherlands, they have interest in making the transport in the city more sustainable. So, well, if there's potential interest, something should be worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? Now I realized I missed out one of the subtopics, maybe one of the most important, on standardization, and time is more or less out. So, but let me tell you this: I have some news that you might like. That I talked to Stefan from Radkortet today. Are you here? No. Okay, but anyway, we agreed on that we're going to make a test of making so we can put this container on the Radkortet Musketeer, and there are also interest from our other cargo bike, cargo track manufacturers to try this out. So if you have two different bikes, then you can still use the same container unit if you would. And the theme for the standardization discussion, one of my questions would be, what would be most important to standardize if we would want it? And that could be how it is fastened on the bike, and the dimension that would fit on the bike, or is it the dimensions that would fit in the other logistics systems, in other vehicles, in terminals? Is that what's important to standardize, or is it something else? So maybe we have at least one opinion on that, and then we'll sign off. Somebody who gave it some thought about standardization?
I think we have to look at the cargo bike movement as being something that is lagging behind other forms of transport: containerized shipping, rail, road traffic. I mean, those dimensions are already known. I mean, how many boxes fit in a truck, how many boxes fit in a container. Perhaps that might help to give some sort of orientation to which direction we could go with sizing. Yeah. To give it a broad, list of options. And also, I mean, cargo bikes can also have different categories. I've noticed there's like stuff the size of a child's bicycle out there almost, and there's one that looks like a van, it's like 100 meters wide. So yeah, that's something maybe to look at as well. That we have different classifications for different uses and situations.
There are some classifications.
Weights and powering and width.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can at least tell you that we are starting to standardize how to mount, how to fix a container on cargo bike. That work has started, and I think second priority after that is to see how will it fit in the
I would actually look at the other
You will turn it
I would first look at the sizes, because it's also a political aspect. I know in different countries there are also already bicycle lanes that you have to share with the other users. And there are little children on bicycles, so if you have a bike with 350 kilograms on it, and you're also sharing the same lane.
I can say with this container, it's compared to what you see on the cargo bike market. This is a fairly small container. It's 86 centimeters wide, which maybe could actually be possible to combine within lorries with pallets.
I wasn't talking about your specific product. I was just talking globally about the sizing issue.
But we can anyway say that as we have done with this one, we have taken into consideration it has EU pallet dimensions inside, and it's small and it doesn't carry too much. It's probably 150 kilos limit. So and we had some interesting general cargo bike discussion in the end, which I thought was very giving. That's why we are all here, because we want more cargo bikes taking on motorized transport. I thank you very much for your interest. Good input, I think. It's been a good workshop, I think. So thank you very much for being here, and see you later on today.
Okay, Johan, thank you very much.